For these week's observations, I've been able to attend Clovis High School and do in-person observations. Now, for the first week and second week, I've been going to Miss Wolf's classroom, which is AP US History and Government. I've been mainly in the government section of the class, and from what I've seen is that the students are all integrated within the class. There's no segregation, and they're all dressing within terms of the school's dress code. Additionally, what I've noticed in the first week during Miss Wolf's class was that she had two different subs for Thursday and Friday. And when I observed these classes, I noticed that in the first class, Patrick, the substitute, his class was more docile, more controlled, I would say. The students were mainly focusing on the task at hand. There's no gossiping, there was no getting up and moving around. The students stayed in place in silence and continued their work that the teacher, Miss Wolf, had prepared in advance. However, when compared to the second class, Scott's class, what I noticed was that Scott did not really focus much on teaching and aiding the students and walking around. He mainly sat at the front desk on his computer. I do not know what he was doing, but what I do know was that it was taking up much of his attention as the students were moving around more, changing seats. The class was filled with gossip and other noises from the students, and there were even some students in the back sleeping. However, when judging this compared to when Miss Wolf returned from her absence, she granted many freedoms to the students, allowing them to go to the bathroom and to talk and listen to music. However, when students were not able to meet the deadlines for assignments or could not bring in their progress reports, she was not as laid back and very strict in terms of punishment, such as detention. Now, the students, what their content was focused on was the selection of judges in the judicial branch and how and why they were selected. This goes on to say that the presidents during their presidency would elect a judge, and that judge would often reflect the president's political view and ideology. And Miss Wolf would go on to continue and talk about the politics and the selection process of these judges. She would also go on to state the responsibilities of these judges and what roles they were placed upon when doing trials and other aspects of their job in the judicial branch. Now, this is a lesson guide that I created of the judicial branch of government that is reflective of what I observed from Miss Wolf's classroom. So, the teacher would focus on having the students reflect and analyze the government and their positions and responsibilities, while the students would try to explain the process of selection and confirmation of Supreme Court justices. This is to kind of have the students learn the knowledge, understand it, and to be able to interpret it to their own understanding. And the information that provided is also similar to what Miss Wolf did in her class. She would go on to have lecture slides and explain and highlight important notes, and the students would have packets where they would take notes and also answer subsequent questions that correlated to the lecture. And I found this intriguing because it gives students the homework and also a study guide all in one, allowing them to be further prepared for their test. And this is essentially what I have noticed from 12th grade history and government class of Miss Wolf's.